Hello there everybody, how's things? It's doing okay over here. It's quite quiet actually. The dogs are all sleeping and been getting on with some work because of course prep for tomorrow. And yeah, still working on new stuff for next week as well. So it's all go here. I've got Leslie, John, Sarah and Tommy at the office though. They've been busy today. So yeah, here we go. It doesn't seem like 2 minutes since I was last on a live. But then again, we did do classes at the weekend. And of course we did the Sanntangle quilt on Sunday as well. So yeah, just days flow, don't they? Flow into one. But here we go. Our tile for today. And what have I got with me? I've done a little bit of inking. This is one of our elite tiles. So, you know, if you've got one of those, they ink beautifully, as you can see. I've also thrown a bit of salt on. So I've got a little bit of a background and that's what I want to do. So I want to have this at the top, my sort of blue colour. And then I've got my sort of like meadowish kind of colours at the bottom there. So are we ready? What do I have with me? Pen, pencil, tortillon as per usual. Down somewhere. So if we're ready, let's get going. Okay, I'm just going to make it a bit bigger so you can see what we've got there. And first things first, I'm going to come in with, yeah, I'm going to just come straight in with pen, I reckon. If you want to, if you feel more comfortable, please by all means come in with pencil first and see how we get on with it. It's not a problem. So I'm going to start around sort of here. And again, we're going to do a few of these. So you might want to watch and see or sketch a few in, see what you think. But I'm going to start with, imagine a bit of a triangle shape, but it's sort of got slightly curved edges there and it comes down. I'm not going to join it for a minute. There we go. All right, bit of a triangle with a bit of a bump on there, okay? And again, in terms of size, you can see it's not, there we go. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to create a little bit of a wavy sort of stem down to the bottom here. And I quite like the waves, but again, if you would rather have it straight, that's fine. Okay, so far so good. Let's go a little bit bigger then so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is on this side, I'm going to just come slightly above and I'm going to create like a little extra petal there. And then on this side, I'm going to do the same. It looks like it's got ears, doesn't it now? And then up on the top here, I'm going to bring it round. Bit of a wave down. And similar this side, so down a bit of a wave, but I'm not going to go down, I'm going to sort of join it there. And then in the middle, I'm going to bring a little bubble in. I'm going to fill that with ink. Okay, there we go, first one. So working from the bottom, I want to create some little lines. And I'm going to put quite a few in today. You see they're a little bit longer than usual as well. I want to give it a little bit of drama there. See, let's get another one in there. And then a couple this side. And a couple this side. We want to have quite dark at that bottom edge. So you can even bring a bit in there. Okay. All right then. Not bad. So let's put another one in. I'm going to go, let's go here this time. I'm going to turn it slightly. And again, I'm going to create that sort of triangle shape, but with a little bit of a bump on the top there. And then let's bring that down. And again, down. A bit of a wave in there, okay? So, same as before, I'm going to do one this side and one this side. So it looks like it's got little ears again. And then again, from here around, a bit of a bump and down. And this side I'm going to come around and touch. And then in the middle there, again, a little bit of a bubble, and I'm going to fill it in. All right, looks like they're having a conversation, doesn't it? Okay. And as before, let's put those lines in. You see, always sort of working from that bottom section, which means we're going to get a lot of darkness down there, which is what we want, that kind of thing. Okay. So just before we do another one, I want to come in now with another line. So we want to think about a leaf. Let's put another leaf in. A little line like so. Oh, good afternoon, everybody. I can see some familiar names there. Some names I've not seen for a while, so welcome. It's lovely to have you. Kathy, have you managed to recover from the weekend? We had a really good time, didn't we? Your t-shirts are fantastic. I hope everybody's seen the photos. They're really good. So here you go. I've got these sort of little veins or stems coming from here. So what I want to do now, I'm going to work my way around this shape. I'm going to sort of do little wobbles. You see, like so. Following it round. See if it goes behind the last one, doesn't matter. But I'm going to stop there. Then I'm going to come back from the bottom here. Again, create that little wobbly shape. Following it round. And join into the top there. There we go. Oh, Chris, you did. You did spy that. That was for our class in particular. We'll do a few different ones as we go along. There we go. And same as before, we're going to follow with little wobbles. Hi, Mum. Are you having a go at this one today, or are you just watching? Wander around, seeing the same sort of thing. Now here you perhaps would have one coming behind as well, so let's sort of sneak that one in there. So they're quite large leaves. Just join that one there, okay? And I'm going to put one sort of here too. Now they don't have to match, they don't have to be the same in any way. We just have to wobble it round as we go. So you just sort of, you can go really thin, you can go quite fat if you want to. Whatever works for you. See here, I'm gonna get another one that side, aren't I? So let's make that happen as well. And in we go. Okay, I'm not going to put two on there as well, because otherwise it looks like we get two on it. It works. So let's bring another one in. It's going to go up here. And again, let's have that sort of triangular shape. And we're not joining it at the bottom there. And then in we go, this one. This one, let's put that stem in then. See, it's going to wander around and it's going to go underneath anything that comes across. So it might be another stem, it might be a leaf. We're going to put that in. I think I'm actually going to just sort of cut them off at the bottom there as well, just to give them a bit of a finish. And then up and around, just as before. And that part bubble in there, just to give it a little bit of depth. And then around. Again, putting these lines in, even into those ones. We've got that bit of a shape going on there. Okay. So I'm going to do another one. Let's have one here. I'm going to do it a little bit smaller this time, just so it looks a little bit more in the background. And then again, if we put the stem in, along we go. And along we go. Oh, I'm sorry about if it keeps freezing, everybody. I have no idea why. We've got full Wi-Fi here at home. Hello from Australia there. Hello. Lovely to have you with us. We've got those little ears in again. And wander on. What I will do if it does keep freezing, I won't say anything. whilst it's sorting itself out, so we won't miss anything integral. Okay, so again, if we put some little leaves in here, I'm going to make it smaller because it's quite nice to have that little bit of distance, isn't it? So again, keep it small in the background. Same sort of thing, look, following it round, but smaller. So I'm going to put one there as well. And again, wobble round, sort of as we go. Okay, I think perhaps one here as well. I'm going a little bit bigger because it's sort of more in the foreground. And then along, round, and wobble, just as before. See, leaves can be anything, can't they? They don't have to have a certain shape or anything. Put it with a flower, it's absolutely fine. Oh, sorry, Sue, that's because it's in the background. We just needed that one there. I'm gonna bring one in here. I don't know, perhaps we should move to micro tiles completely. What do you think? They just take a little longer to draw, so I know you've not all got the time during the week. Doing a smaller pieces, of course, it's not as overwhelming, is it, as something bigger. The fact that it doesn't take as long to draw makes life a little bit easier as well. I've got to be getting on with Christmas stuff. Yeah. Oh, that's coming. There you go. So I'm not going to put on, oh, I could put another leaf there, I'm not going to. Let's put these lines back. And again, notice I'm coming all the way from the base of the flower outwards. Just because it's going to give me a stronger black here. Oh, so I'm going to go through a few extra bits and pieces that we've not had chance to. So I'm not going to bring anything new as such. There's a little bit of a mix of things. So don't worry about missing anything as such. I am going to take the Christmas wreath on because I know that's a really good one. And people sometimes need a little bit of extra help with that because it's quite a big stencil. A lot of things going on with it. But yes, Charlotte, I'm afraid we have to do it. Has to be Christmas in June. Because, you know, you've got to get time to get your stuff prepared, haven't you? It has to be done. So that'll be on the 13th. Yeah. Okay. So the one here. So they're sort of all mixing together. I think I am going to be prepared, Sue. I'm going to put a smaller one in a minute. I think it needs it. Okay. You see, with having that colour in the background, it's giving it a little bit of a hint that it's sort of flowers anyway. And again, like I'm going to do that leaf shape. See, it didn't say anything then. Just a bit of a wobble around my leaf. All right, wandering round. There we go. So there's that one. So it needs something here, but I don't want to do a full flower. So let's do a part one. So let's go a little bit thinner. A little bit thinner. And then let's have that sort of coming in and around there. And then just sort of a little bit of a leaf. See, little thin leaf shapes there. Maybe you can put one of those there, look, as well, just to give it a little bit of interest. So, of course, let's have a little look around these little shapes here, because what I want to do is just sort of around the bottom area. I'm going to have a couple little sort of pebble kind of shapes, you know, so it, like you see, so it seems to fit in. It's got a bit of grounding. So they're not quite ovals, they're sort of real rough oval shapes. this sort of, you know, grounded around where those stems are. Okay, I find it easy to draw them this way, but whatever works for you. They're like little pebbles or bricks and things. There we go. Let's have a look. See, it's got a little bit of ground there, and just sort of around, I'm going to put some little dots in just to break up that area a little bit. Okay, let's go a little bit bigger. Oh, Kathy, do you know, that's really nice that you're not afraid to do that anymore, because flowers can be so hard to draw, and finding easier ways to make them look real is not as scary as you first thought, is it? So that's lovely. It's nice to hear. So, just sort of looking it round. It is actually nice to hear your stories. It really is. It's nice to know that we can help a little. I know through lockdown we did quite a lot of that there, but it's still nice to know, because just because lockdown's finished, it doesn't mean that our anxieties have gone away, or we're any less worried or fearful, does it? And this just takes a moment out just to give us a little bit of peace, in a sense. So there we go, a little bit there. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a tiny little bird in the background just to give it distance. So little curves. Now I'm going to go a bit bigger so you can see it. Look, it's a little curve. Let's do another curve. All right, little curve, really tiny, but if you look at that now, it just gives that bit in the background. It's just something that you don't have to put in, but having that little bit makes all the difference. So we're ready for a bit of colour or shading. Let's go with a bit of pencil first, I think. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shade it all, and then I'm going to bring a bit of colour in on these flowers. So let's make a start. Going to start, let's have a look. On the floor here, I'm not going to colour every little pebble. So I'm going to add some pencil. Look, almost looks like a bit of sand there, doesn't it? It's a whole new picture, like a bit of a palm tree and things. Yeah, a little bit of pencil on the base there to get it started. Okay. And then leaves. I don't want to overdo it, so I'm going to work my way up each of the lines. That'll blend out pretty well, so that's fine. And in and along we go. Sort of following them. So you can see it's not a massive amount of detail. You don't need to worry too much about where the pencil's going and whether the light or the shade's having a difference. Doesn't matter. Okay. So flowers, a little bit at the bottom there. Doesn't need much because it's already quite black anyway. And I'm going to bring a little bit either side. And just a little bit in there. Again, they're small amounts because we're working on quite small shapes anyway, so doesn't need much. Even this one, tiny, isn't it? So there we go. Same for this one. Just sort of bring it round, a little bit in there. So I'm not sure what colour to use because we've got that lovely sort of tealy blue in the background, and then got that yellowy orange in the foreground. So I suppose we could get away with any colour. I mean, I don't know. Oh, thank you, Sheila. They're very elegant, aren't they? They'd look great as larger blooms as well, I think. And you could have them, imagine that these were open, you could do this shape. It's almost like the say it with flowers, that kind of petal shape. So you could actually have these completely open if you wanted to. Yeah. So pink, I'll go with pink. And don't know how I pronounce this. Is it Cleta or Cleta? It's a B pencil. It's a 2B because it just means that you can blend it a little bit easier. If it was a HB, it doesn't blend so well. It's fine if you want a bit of control, but you know, when we want a little bit of blending going on. There we go. So a little bit on some of the stems. And before I'm going to come in with my tortillon, I'm going to find a chalky pencil, my white chalk pencil. And what I want to do is going to add a little bit in, just on those sort of top edges of the flowers, just to sort of start with, because I've got a little bit of ink in the background there, and it'd just be nice to, when this blends, this will just help give it a little bit of light in those areas. And honestly, it's easier to put the pencil on, the chalk pencil anyway, before you use the tortillon. There we go, just on the flowers. You see the difference there? Okay. I'm tangling on your bag. Use the same pen that you do for tangling on your paper. What I would do though is, just to be sure, in case you press on, put just a scrap piece of paper inside the bag, and then you can draw to your heart's content. It just means it won't go through. It shouldn't do anyway, but just as a precaution. So yeah, if you're ever drawing onto your bags, and you're, especially the one from the weekend, things like that, then yeah, just put a piece of paper inside, just so you know if you do press on, it won't go through. And you're good to go with a regular pen. Just be gentle with it. Should be fine. Okay, see, I'm being ever so sort of, I'm not being too sort of neat and precise. It's all about softening it out a bit, because we're going to come in with a bit of colour anyway. And Sue suggested pink, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my pink pencils. But I just want to soften this off a little bit first. And of course, if you want to leave it with pencil, you can do. You could always come in with an extra layer if you wanted to, and add a bit more to it. But I don't think I need to, because I'm coming in with a bit of pencil. So that's pretty straightforward as far as shading goes. It was not too taxing, that. It's just about softening it out a little. Let's have a little look at that. There you go. So look at that. Look how the white's helping that to stand out a bit more. I think I'm going to go over it just a touch with the tortillon. Not all the way, because of course I've got graphite on it, and I don't want it to completely cover. I just want to smooth it in a little bit. So that's the starting point. So okay, let's get in there our coloured pencils. Okay. So pinks it is. We've got that. So I'm bringing a bit of Sanntangle red, of course, because that is sort of quite pinkish. It's a pinkish red, really nice. And then of course I've got my, let's have a look. There you go, light rose, and of course we're going to need, do I want to put mid-rose in? Yeah, a bit of mid-rose. And then I've got my white pencil just to be sure as well. So this is my regular pencil, not my chalk. So I'm going to start with that mid-rose. Let's go in. Okay. So starting at this front one, I'm going to bring some up into the bottom of the sections there. See, just a little bit. Now this is the, let's say, the mid-rose. So just where I've already shaded. So it's not going to be as bright, a tad more subdued. But that's okay, because we don't want it to be, unless you want to do that, you don't have to do what I do, of course. Bringing in the light pink. Oh, there we go, there you go, light rose. And again, I'm not going to press on too much because I don't want it to completely cover that white there. Let's have a look at that. See, it's just sort of wandering it round over the top of where I've already shaded. Okay. And working my way along. See, it's not just taking away that edge there. See, sometimes it goes over a little bit of that white. It doesn't have to be an exact line. Okay, let's have a look at that. Sue, yes, we did find your blush tiles, and they are on their way to you. I am sure that they got posted yesterday. That's the conversation I had anyway. But yeah, I did. They were actually, I did actually have one with me. All right, Sanntangle red now. That's slightly darker than the pinks here. I'm going to go back in. But they were packed they were packed so well I couldn't find them. But yeah, they're on their way soon. So, don't worry. Oh dear. I knew I'd got them and I just couldn't remember for the life of me where I put them. But they found them yesterday when they were unpacking the car. Okay, all right. So I think being that we've got a little bit of that sort of pinkish colour on, it's just going to come over the top. I'm not going to try and blend it too much because I know that chalky white's there. Let's just ease that in a bit, see, with the white. I'm going to bring a bit of green in as well, just on those leaves. Again, you don't have to. Marie, we're going to keep the blush. I do like them. And we had a bit of a conversation and we thought, yeah, we'll keep them. So that's what we're going to keep, the classic cream, and we're going to keep the blush and then bring in, of course, the new colours. Okay, a little bit of a deep green now. So again, I'm not going to put too much colour on. I'm just going to go over where I've already shaded. It's quite lightly. Let's just zoom in a little bit. You see, so I'm not trying to shade it completely. I don't want a perfect blend. I want a little bit of texture in there, a little hint of colour. Because of course we've already added the shade in with the pencil, so it doesn't matter. Oh, Susan, maybe. It just depends on stocks because we've ordered a lot in for tiles, so I don't see why not. I think that's something that's probably going to more likely be on the website though, rather than on Hobby Maker. Bright tiles, not sure. I'll have to have a look at the office. I need to check stock because once they have gone, they won't be around anymore. So if you send me or Leslie a message and just sort of remind us on Thursday, we'll have a look for you. Okay, there we go. You see, so I'm not really coloured in, I've just got that little bit of texture. Oh no, good night from Australia. We forget, don't we, what there's a massive time difference. Thank you for joining. And Dawn, yes, please post it because honestly, I've not done mine yet. So we'll probably, when did we say we're going to do that? Yeah, well, a couple more days, certainly. We might actually not send it out till Monday. So you've got time. Okay. All right then. So as far as this one is concerned, I think we're done and sorted. Let's have a little look at that. And it's actually not taken as long. They don't these days. It's taken us 30 minutes from scratch. So it's not too bad a job really, apart from if you're going to ink your tile and salt it, you need to let it dry first. But have a little bit of fun with this one, you know, mess around with it a bit. It does look a bit like the sand, doesn't there, in the background there now with those little pebbles and things. But there we go, have a little play and see how it goes. Oh, no brights, sorry, there are no brights. We do have a couple of colours, so if there's a specific one that you are after, if you message me, we could perhaps see what we have got in and we could do something for you. But okay, as far as that, tile done and sorted, and I will see you back here as usual on Friday at 2 o'clock. So just a note, if you are around tomorrow, I'm on at 4 and 7. So I would definitely going to demonstrate the Christmas wreath because that's a pretty good one. And of course I've got the couple of Locket Lane kind of things, showing you how you can use the larger stencils, not just for sewing, but for tangling as well. So have a good afternoon, everybody. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon. All right then. Bye.